Hello, my name is Dejanay Smith and I am a biology undergraduate along with a STAR Scholar student. For my STAR research project, I went around Philadelphia and collected the cabbage white butterfly and daisy fleabane flower, choosing functional traits that can be applied to all species of both butterfly and flowering plants. In this video, I will be showing myself at two sites that we have sampled throughout the summer, one urban site and one rural site, discussing the different characteristics of each type of site along with how they can affect butterflies and flowering plants.
We are at Penn Park at the University of Pennsylvania, which we classified as an urban site. The characteristics of an urban site are usually higher temperatures, more exposure to pollutants, along with a higher population density.
As a university-affiliated space, Penn Park has a significant amount of man-made spaces throughout, primarily used for sporting activities. With the park also being established in an active city space, there are not only many high-rise buildings that are densely packed together, but the space is also near a very busy road in which the many vehicles produce significant amounts of carbon. While there are established natural spaces, Penn Park does include many intentionally planted flora, which would not grow there naturally otherwise. As we collected our specimen in Philadelphia, we focus on the cabbage white as our butterfly species. With the abundance of flowers available at Penn Park, butterflies have a variety of nectar sources to feed from, which would influence their mass and possibly body length as well. From our visits to Penn Park, we have noticed that the butterflies have a sheltered space that is relatively scarce for birds, which are one of a butterfly's primary predators. This lack of predation could allow butterflies to be larger, as a smaller size makes them much more agile in general flight and less likely to be predated. Moving on to flowering plants, we chose daisy fleabane, a herbaceous wildflower. With the diverse plant community Penn Park has, certain wild plants may not be able to succeed here, but for those that can, they are more likely to thrive as they have less competitors for both resources and pollination. In turn, we suspect that the height and flower dimensions of such plants are likely to be influenced. With the carbon emission from the area, we believe flowering plant height will be impacted, as plants can use the CO2 for growth, although excess carbon may be a hindrance. As rural areas are a bit more difficult to access at this time, we've decided to revisit another site that we've sampled from in the digital world, alongside my partner on this project, Jalen. Here we are at Ross Mills Farms, which we've classified as a rural site. Some characteristics of a rural site are that they have very low population densities, higher occurrence of encountering wildlife, along with a majority of natural landscape is preserved. Speaking for Ross Mill Farm, the farm has kept a deep and lush forest intact, which is likely home to many wild creatures and insects. As Ross Mill is a farm and a care center, vehicles do occasionally visit the area for deliveries and personal business, but it is not close to the same frequency as an urban site. Unlike many of the other rural sites we visited, we did notice that there were significantly less flowering plants in the vicinity of the farm. But, as Ross Mill caters to pigs, a few flowers are toxic to the animals, but the farm did have a very active butterfly garden, which made the site even more perfect for collection. With Ross Mill's large forest, it does give butterflies an area to escape from the sun, but this may also increase the number of predators, possibly affecting their wing dimensions. Although the garden was effective in attracting butterflies, the variety and abundance was not as extensive as urban areas, which could impact their body dimensions. As we found these flowers on a path away from the farm, they weren't close to the butterflies, although they could be visited by other pollinators. Such factors could impact their flower dimensions, as they may be more or less frequented by pollinators. By being in a relatively open space with an unobstructed view from the sun, the height of these plants would be primarily impacted, along with their leaf dimensions. As we visited sites, we took meticulous notes on both our methods and process, culminating into a protocol that can one day be used by anyone to contribute to this project, a process you can hear in much more detail from my partner Jalen. In conclusion, by considering the common aspects of both urbanized and rural sites, along with how they affect butterflies and flowering plants, we can hope to conserve the homes of the important plants and animals in our ecosystems. Thank you.